Hey Book Dragons, I'm so glad you've joined me today. I am so excited to share with you my plans for 2025. And I've got a lot of plans, guys. So we're going to get right to it. Now, I am going to break this video down into several sections, and I'll have timestamps for each of those sections in the description below. So I'm going to start out talking about my Goodreads goal, then we're going to move on to my reading goals, and then we'll talk about channel goals, writing goals, and life goals. Yes, guys, I'm even going to share with you some of my life goals. But if you want to skip some of these or move back and forth between them, timestamps will be in the description, okay? So I'm going to put my eyes on here and we're going to talk Goodreads. I set a goal of 48 books for 2024, and I did really well. I did surpass that goal. So it would make sense to at least do 48 books again in 2025, or maybe more, right? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to decrease my goal to 40 books. And I have a reason for that, and I'll let you know more about that as the video goes on. But I basically want to make sure that I have enough time to work on other projects and things that I've got planned for the future with my writing and stuff like that. So we'll talk more about that as the video goes on. But for Goodreads, I am sticking to 40 books. That's my goal. I could read more than that. It's entirely possible. But I don't want to overplan. So moving on from Goodreads, let's talk about my reading goals. And I'm going to start this with a caveat. And that is a short list of books that I will drop everything for. Any of my reading goals can go out the window for certain books. Or maybe not go out the window, but at least they will be temporarily supplanted by books that might come out. And I've got 3 of those books, okay? The first one is the new Dresden Files book. I don't know if we're going to get it in 2025, but I know that Jim Butcher is about 80% done with the next Dresden book, according to the ticker on his website. So we could reasonably expect that we might get a new Dresden book in 2025, and I would think that would be awesome. I will be there for it. I will drop everything to read the new Dresden book. Another one is the final book in the Empire of the Vampire trilogy by Jay Kristoff. I am anxiously awaiting the final book in that trilogy, or at least I think it's the final book. And I will drop everything if he announces a release date for that. Whatever month it comes out, I will be reading it that month. Okay, guys, editing Chaz here. Right after I filmed this video, Jay Kristoff posted on Blue Sky that we are getting the final book in Empire of the Vampire in November of next year. So what I just talked about how I will drop everything if the next book comes out next year, it's coming, guys. I can't believe the timing. And then, of course, my old standby is The Winds of Winter by George R.R. Martin. That is a long shot, guys. It's probably not going to happen in 2025. But if it does, I will drop everything to read The Winds of Winter. So that is a given, and those are books that are high priorities for me if they come out this year. Okay, so let's move on to my regular reading goals. The first goal on this list is to finish The Expanse. I have 4 books left in the Expanse series, and I am very excited to finish it and see how everything goes, see how it ends. I've heard so many good things about the ending of the series, and I just want to get it done. It's only 4 books, and they are quick reads, so I think I can easily get that done. Another one I want to finish is the Shades of Magic series, starting with A Gathering of Shadows. So I did read the first book, A Darker Shade of Magic, and really loved it. I've only got 2 books left in the initial trilogy, guys. Now, I know that's not counting the Threads of Power. I do need to read the Threads of Power as well, but I'm going to focus on finishing the Shades of Magic trilogy this year. So I've got A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light to finish up in the initial series. So I'm looking forward to finishing that up this year. And then I am going to do a reread of the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. But I'm going to do it on audio this time. I am so excited to listen to the audiobooks narrated by Andy Serkis, and I've heard so many good things about them. So I'm going to be doing a reread, and I'm not going to slot them into any particular month because I can listen to it in the car and things like that. So I'm just going to kind of work my way through it slowly and gingerly and just enjoy the process. And if I finish it quicker than I plan to, that's great. But if not, I'll just, listen to it casually over a few months' time and see how things go. But I'm very much looking forward to it. It's been years since I've read The Lord of the Rings, guys. I think I was like 27 or 28 when I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I'm almost 50 now, guys. So you can tell how long it's been since I've read the series. So I'm very much looking forward to doing a reread. All right, so let's get on to what I plan to read in the new year. And these will be brand new reads for me, not rereads, not finishing a series, just brand new reads. And the first one of those is Shogun. And I'm planning to do it in January. I'm just going to knock it out, at least the first part. I know there's technically 2 parts, maybe even 3 parts, but I'm going to read at least half of it in January. And if I don't finish it in January, I'll read the other half in February probably. But I do want to read Shogun. And I have said for a while that this was on my maybe list. And I only bumped it up to my planning list because I have been watching the show and absolutely loving the show, and I just have to read the book. So I'm looking forward to reading Shogun in 2025. And then another book I want to read is A Drop of Corruption. That is the second book in a new trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett, and I am very excited to read the second book. I love the first book, The Tainted Cup, and A Drop of Corruption comes out in April. So I have that as high priority for me to read in April, and I just can't wait, guys. I am expecting great things from that book. Hopefully it lives up to my expectations. I think it will, but we shall see. Another book I want to read is The Lions of Al Rassan by Guy Gavriel Kay. I've definitely been wanting to read more Guy Gavriel Kay, and so I will at least be reading The Lions of Al Rassan this year. I might even go further and read A Song for Our Bone. That's another one that I've heard really, really good things about. But at least The Lions of Al Rassan is going to happen this year. Another book I want to read is Gleanings. This is a collection of short stories set in the Scythe universe, written by Neil Shusterman. I very much want to read this. I read the trilogy and absolutely loved it. Every single book was a banger for me, and so now I want to go back and read some of these short stories and see what those are like. So that will happen this year as well. I also want to read Kushiel's Dart. I have heard so many good things about this series, or at least the first book, and I really want to find out what all the hype is about. It may not be for me, it may not be my cup of tea, but we shall see. I've been very curious to read it and see what it's like. And I've had it on my Kindle for years. I got it as a free book through the free ebook program that Tor used to do. I don't know if they still do it, but I got it free through them, so I'm like, I've got to read it sometime, right? I got it for free. I might as well read it and see what I think. Another one I want to read is the High Druid of Shannara trilogy. I'm slowly making my way through the Shannara series by Terry Brooks, and this is the next one on that list. So I at least want to complete the High Druid trilogy, and I may read more Shannara this year. I don't know, but at the very least, I'll be reading that one. The next one I am going to read is the Rainwild Chronicles by Robin Hobb. And I have been doing a buddy read on this series with my good friend Danielle over at Bookara, and we're going to be continuing with the Rainwild Chronicles in 2025. I'm super excited, and yes, I know there's a mixed reception to the series, but I am going in hopeful. Okay, and another goal I have is to read more Patricia Meredith. She has become one of my favorite mystery writers. She writes historical mysteries, and I am planning to do Mystery March again this year, and so I have added at least one Patricia Meredith book to that list. I may read others, but at the very least, I am planning to read the next book in the Spokane Clock Tower mystery series. I'm really looking forward to that, and we'll see where I go from there, but I'm very excited to try out more of her books. I'm also going to be reading more Hercule Poirot books this year. I've been doing a buddy read with my good friend Mona Lisa over at Mona Lisa Reads. We have been reading through the Hercule Poirot series by Agatha Christie. So that will be taking place this year as well. It will happen in Mystery March, but not just Mystery March. It's going to be sprinkled out throughout the year. So more to come on that. I'm very excited to continue reading Poirot. And then I also want to read more R. Scott Baker. And that is the second Apocalypse series. And I read the first book, The Darkness That Comes Before, last year, I think it was. Or maybe it was this year. No, it was last year, I'm pretty sure. And I liked it. It was a huge challenge. But I enjoyed it, and I do want to read more of Baker's series. So I'm at least going to read the second book in the first trilogy. We'll see if I progress on and read the third and final book in the first trilogy. But at the very least, I'm going to read the second book, okay? I'm also going to start reading Janny Wirtz. I am so excited about this, guys. I have heard nothing but good about Janny Wirtz. I am at least going to start the Wars of Light and Shadow series this year. I don't know how far I'll get, but I'm at least going to read the first book and give it a try and see what I think. And that's kind of how it's going to be with all of the new series I'm starting this year. It's just going to be the first book to see what I think of it. And if I enjoy it, I will progress on and read more. And I know that Janny Wirtz has a standalone book called To Ride Hell's Chasm, which is very popular as well. So I will probably try that one as well. We'll see. I'm only committing to the Wars of Light and Shadow, though. Speaking of series that I'm going to read the first book in, that would be the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio. This, again, has been hyped tremendously on BookTube, and I am very excited to check it out and see what I think, and see if I find myself a new science fiction series to read. It's science fiction fantasy mix, so I like stuff like that, so I'm looking forward to reading it and see what I think. I'm also going to start reading John Gwynne. If you watched my recent video where I talked about my next 10 series, I wasn't quite sure where I should start with John Gwynne. Should I start with the Banished Lands or should I start with the Bloodsworn Saga? So there is a poll up on my community tab. I'm going to run that through the end of December and see what everybody says about what they think I should read. And whatever gets the most votes on that poll will be the John Gwynne series that I start with, okay? So I'm definitely reading John Gwynne. Which one? I'm not sure. And then I do want to read more books on Kindle Unlimited. I pay for Kindle Unlimited. I should probably utilize it more than I do. Bad jazz. So, yeah, I'm going to try and utilize Kindle Unlimited more this year. Several of the books that I've looked at reading recently are on Kindle Unlimited. Not all of the ones I've listed here necessarily, but a lot of the books that I'm interested in, I'm finding more and more on Kindle Unlimited. And I'm also going to try and utilize my library more as well. So between the library and Kindle Unlimited, maybe I'll save myself some money. That would probably be a good thing. Alright guys, so we're going to move on from my reading goals to my channel goals. And this is going to be pretty brief, but I do have some loose goals that I would like to hit for my channel in 2025. First of all, I think it would be really cool if I hit 2,500 subscribers. I'm at close to 1,700 right now, so I think by the end of 2025 it's probably doable to hit 2,500 subscribers. But if not, it's cool. You know, it's not a hard goal. It's a soft goal. But I think it would be cool to hit 2,500 subscribers. What do you think? Another goal is to hit my watch hours. My watch hours have been going really slow. And that's okay. You know, slow and steady takes the race, right? So eventually I'll get there, but I'm so close. I'm at 3,400 watch hours. The next tier on the YouTube Partner Program hits at 4,000 watch hours. So I'm at 3,400. I just got to hit that other 600, right? So I'm really hoping that that's going to happen in 2025. If not, again, it's not a big deal. I do this for fun. But I think it would be cool to hit those numbers that are kind of benchmarks according to YouTube. So that would be cool. And then, of course, I want to be more consistent with Chasm Friends. I've been really hit or miss this year with Chasm Friends, and I have good reasons. You know, a lot of stuff has happened with life and everything, but I do want to be more consistent with that. I've got a lot of cool people that I want to talk to on Chasm Friends. I've made some really good friendships this year and continued some long-standing friendships from YouTube, and so I'm really excited to get more Chasm Friends happening. And that will probably be a mix of new guests as well as old guests. I'll do some more Chasm Friends remix episodes. I've done a couple, but I want to do more. Okay, and now we're going to move on to my writing goals, guys. And I've got a lot of big plans for my writing in 2025. This is probably the biggest reason that I set my Goodreads goal so low. It's because I want to focus heavily on my writing this year. As you know, I recently released my new book, The Nomad's Crucible. It's available on Amazon, and I still have my first book, Talendor's Guest. Both of these are available on Amazon. You can buy them at the links in the description below. And I want to write more books. So I've got 2 projects currently in the works, and one is codenamed Dreamer, and the other is codenamed Ink. That's all I'm going to say. One is a novella, and one is a full novel. And I feel like I have more ideas right now for Ink, but I also have some really good ideas for Dreamer. So I don't know which one of those is going to become my focus, but I'm going to try to only focus on one of those. So we'll see which one of those wins out this year. And of course, I'm also planning to do a revised edition of Talendor's Guest. So that will probably be uploaded to Amazon in the near future as well. So got a lot of writing stuff going on. And so along with that, I want to do quarterly writing check-ins. So at the end of each quarter in 2025, I am going to have a video posted talking about how I'm doing with my writing. And I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be in addition to my normal 2 videos every week. But I could also do it as a replacement video, which would mean less work for me, so that would be cool. Maybe you guys can tell me what you think. Would you rather see my writing update as a separate additional video, Or do you think it would be okay for me to replace it with one of my normal weekly videos? Let me know in the comments below. That would be great. Either way is probably fine with me. I want to do what the community wants as well, because I don't want to overwhelm you with videos, but if you don't want it to take away from my normal content, I can always release a separate video, like a third video for the week on that particular week where the quarterly check-in happens. So let me know on that. And I might do ChazORimo. I don't really do NaNoWriMo, but I might do my own version ChazORimo and just, set some loose goals for myself. And if some of you wanted to join me in ChazORimo, we could do that. I don't know. It's just an idea I had. Oh, hi, Ari. Are you going to come up and join us? Ari's decided to join us. Come on. There you go. Say hello to the camera. Say hello to my audience. Yes. Mwah. Okay. So, let me know what you think about ChazORimo as well. So that's really all I've got for you right now on my writing goals, but it is going to be a big focus of mine in 2025. And then let's talk about my life goals. And here's where you might say, oh, Chaz, I don't care, and you decide to check out. That is totally fine. That's why I put it at the end of the video, so you can just skip it if you want to. Not a big deal. But if you do want to stick around and hear what I've got planned for my life, you can do that. I don't know exactly what 2025 is going to bring as far as the state of the economy and different things like that in the United States. So much is up in the air. I am a tiny home enthusiast. I've been wanting to eventually live in a tiny home for years now. And I've got all these ideas in my head of what I want my tiny home to be, and so I'm going to start drawing up plans. I try not to use labels too much. You've heard me talk about minimalism and things like that. There are definitely things in life that I set value to and other things that I know I can do without. And so I know what brings me value and brings me joy. Everything that brings me joy pretty much fits in this one room that I'm sitting in. With the exception of the kitchen, right? I need a kitchen so I can cook and eat food and stuff. But I could easily get along in 300 or 400 square feet and be just fine. I am trying to be very intentional about the next stage of my life because, I will be 50 in 2025. And I want to look toward what I'm going to do once my kids are fully out of the house and everything. Living in a tiny home is my goal. So one thing I'm going to do to work towards that in 2025 is I'm going to start drawing up plans for my future tiny home. I'm probably not going to build it in 2025, but I at least want to set down plans for what I want it to look like, have a goal. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I want to think about setting a goal of when I want to build that and have it ready to move into at some point in the future. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I really want to start getting those plans in motion because, I think I'll probably stay in Arizona. Who knows? So, I'll probably build a tiny home on wheels, and that way if I want to move it, I can move it to whatever state I may end up in or whatever that looks like. But I definitely want to start planning for it. I'm a huge proponent of the Stoic philosophy of memento mori and memento vivere. Memento mori is a Latin term, if you're familiar with it, that means remember you are going to die, or remember you are dying, you're in the process of dying. And memento vivere means remember to live. So because you are dying, remember to live. And I really cling to that as my life philosophy. I want to do everything I can to be intentional about having a quality of life that brings me joy and happiness and fulfillment. Having the tiny home as part of that, working towards being more debt-free. I don't have a lot of debt, but I do want to focus on getting rid of the debt I do have, like a car payment and things like that. So it's very important to me to live intentionally, to be wise with my money. And so those are some of my life goals in the coming year. And another thing is to just bring more joy and happiness to those around me, and to show more love, more compassion, more sincerity, to be more authentic about who I am. And not that I'm not already. I think I could always be more so, maybe. And so I want to strive for that as well. That's the end of my 2025 plans. Or the beginning, I guess I should say. It's the beginning of those plans. And so I hope you will stick with me in the next year. I am so thankful to all of you who have subscribed and follow me and comment. It means the world to me. I love you guys so very much, and I hope you will stick around to see all the fun stuff I plan to do in the new year. And I would love to hear from you in the comments what some of your plans for the next year are. That would be so awesome. Please talk with me and share that with me. And until next time, guys, make sure you read more books, and I will talk to you soon. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to my patrons. I really appreciate all you do to support the channel. Thank you so much.